Hi everyone, and welcome to the Career Chat Show with me, Yanmo. On today's chat show, we're going to talk about something that everyone's actually heard about. In fact, very many people speak about it, we hear about it, and that's called what? But before I tell you what it is, I want you to think about how you are perceived. How do people see you? Not necessarily how you look, but what do they know about you? Now, what am I even talking about? I'm talking about personal branding, but in this context, I'm talking about your career brand. Now, oftentimes when we talk about personal branding, we always think about colors, logos, and all of the aesthetics, right? The externals, and that's important and that's good. But from the context of your career, what is your career brand? Many of us don't think about it. When you show up at work, in your organization, in your company, how are you perceived? Because how you are perceived is actually your career brand. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, that's just the truth of the matter. So I want to spend this chat show speaking to you about your career brand, the importance of it, and how you can start creating a career brand that aligns with the career that you want and that aligns to your core values. So what is your career brand simply? Your career brand is how you are perceived, what you do, how you do it, how you speak, how you show up. And we all show up differently, we all speak differently, we're all different, we all bring different things to the table, but more importantly, we're all very unique. We've heard time and time again that even identical twins, right, no matter how identical they are also very different. Their DNA is different. So in the same way, no matter how many people in your office or in your organization is doing the same role that you're doing, there is something that you do that is different. All the things that you do that is different starts to form part of your career brand. So your career brand really is how you show up, how people think about you, how people perceive you. Now, there are people in our organizations, and I'm sure you can attest to this, where you don't want to be in meetings with them, you don't want to be around them. Maybe in a meeting they just talk too much, or they just say things that don't make any sense. But that's that person's career brand, or part of their career brand. So when you're looking at somebody and you're making assumptions or judgments for them, even though we shouldn't be judging, what is coming to you is how you're perceiving that person. Now, if you're perceiving that person in a positive, negative, or just neutral way, the same way other people are also perceiving you. So the question now is, how are you being perceived? One of the ways you know how you're being perceived is what is said about you in front of you and when you're not there. Because what is said about you, usually when you're not there, is actually a testament of what your brand is. Right? So yes, you can deliver on your job, and that's great. But now the world is changing so quickly. They're not just looking for people that just know their job. They're looking for people that can bring so many more aspects of who they are into the organization or into the job that they do. So you have to look at yourself and say, okay, right, here are my skill sets. Here are my technical skills. Here are my transferable skills. But over and above that, what am I truly about? What are my core values? And I have said this before, you shouldn't compartmentalize yourself. Now, of course, wisdom is profitable to direct, so you don't say everything about your life at work, right? However, if there are things that you do outside of work that you feel will benefit your brand and your organization, then you bring those things into your workspace. But remember that we're talking about career branding. When you think about, say, Elon Musk, or you think about Barack Obama or Winfrey, right? You have a perception of who they are, what they do. That's because they've been able to create a brand for themselves. And you have to remember, as the CEO of your career, you're always in charge, meaning that you're in charge of the narrative, you're in charge of how people perceive you. And what do I mean by how people perceive you? How you show up every single day is an indication. It's an indication of how someone is going to treat you, how someone is going to relate with you. And the thing is that with your career branding, you have to be very intentional about it. You have to ensure that everything you do is consistent with how you want to be perceived. Hi, I'm Yanmo. I'm your career expert and a Forbes Coaches Council member. If you're watching this, you're likely feeling frustrated, feeling stuck and unsure how to advance in your career. You know you want more, but you're not quite sure how to go about it. Well, fret not. What I have done is I have put together a 2-day live Advance Your Career Challenge where I will walk you through the strategies that you require to move from where you are to where you need to get to, so that you can thrive, you can add value, you can earn the money that you require, and you can start living a fulfilled life. If that's you and you're interested in the challenge, then click the link below this video and sign up for the challenge. It's 2 days, it's live. I'm going to walk you through it, and guess what? There's 100% money back guarantee. If you don't get any value from the challenge, if you feel that the challenge didn't work for you, you get your money back. So based on that, you have absolutely nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. So click the link below and sign up for the Advance Your Career Challenge. I look forward to seeing you in the challenge so that you can start thriving and advancing in your career. I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Everything you do, the way you show up, the way you dress, whether you're courteous, whether you're respectful, whether you're disrespectful, whatever it is. Now, if your brand is in the negative, then of course you can work on it and bring it into the positive. So you're liked, you're known, you're trusted, you're given opportunities to speak, you're given opportunities, to lead on a project, right? So that's because you are building a career brand in the positive. Now, the thing with your career brand as well is it will speak for you in the future. What do I mean by that? If you have built a really good career brand, especially in the positive, in the future, there are opportunities that will open up for you. Also, even presently, say you're between jobs, but because you have a good career brand, and part of your career brand means you have good relationships with people, right? So it means that somebody that you may have worked with before, or somebody that knows somebody that's looking to fill a role or a vacancy, can actually talk about you. So therefore, what happens is that you're not necessarily going through the interview process. It just becomes a chat. Why? Because your career brand has spoken for you. Somebody that you have worked with before has recommended you for this role or for this job, and you've gone ahead. And because do you know that it's easier to give a job to somebody that is recommended than to somebody that that just sent you their CV? And that's the truth. Really, that's the truth. But because we are not told about these things, we're not, no one is talking about it. We just feel that we show up on a job, we do what we have to do, we move on to the next job. No, be very intentional about your career brand. It opens up opportunities for you, meaning that you also have to think about networking and building your relationships. As a person of color, what I know is that back then in my career, I didn't see a lot of me. Okay, I didn't see a lot of me, so it was really hard to understand things that I am saying to you today. However, I was very intentional about networking, about building relationships. It speaks to my person because, I am a relationship person. I like to know people. I like to get to know people generally. Now, if you're not that kind of person, you can become that kind of person. Not because you want to know them to the nth degree, but because you're building relationships. And you're building relationships not necessarily because of what you want to get out of it, but because you're building your career brand. So it's very important for you to think about who you are, what you want to bring to the table, and how people perceive you. So for example, if you're always late or you're usually late, you're building a brand. You're building a perception. So when people talk about you, they think, oh, well, so-and-so is always late. So-and-so is always late. That is part of your brand. So have a look at every single thing that people have said about you, positively or negatively. If it's positive, fantastic, keep working on it, keep improving on it. If it's negative, you definitely have to do something about it, because I tell you, the world is such a small place, right? Everybody seems to know everybody, and they all seem to know everybody. So be intentional about building your career brand. And if you have any questions whatsoever about how to build your career brand, let me know in the comments below. That's that said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that when I upload a new video, which I upload every single week, you will get notified. Until next time, don't forget to continue building your career brand. You are the CEO of your career. It is down to you to be in charge of your brand. I will see you at the next chat show. God bless you. Bye.